क्या हो गया? मैं नहीं कर रहा हूँ, वो लोग कर रहा है।
Namaskar and welcome. My name is Kumari and I'm your program coordinator this morning. Thank you for joining us in the second presentation of the footprints of Shri P.R. Sarkar, lovingly known as Baba to his devotees. Our opening prayer will be rendered by Yashaen, Yashaen joined the Ananda Marga in 1984. I hand you over to Yashaen. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Shiva Shakyatmakam Brahma Shakti Sa Shivasya Shakti Tayo Siddhi Sanchare Prathi Sanchare Chara Tayo Siddhi Sanchare Prathi Sanchare Tayo Siddhi Sanchare Prathi Sanchare
The mic is muted.
Namaskar. Thank you, Yashaen, for that lovely opening. Our next two presenters are Shireena Balmohun and Tarika Balmohun. Shireena and Tarika joined the Ananda Marga in 2012. Their topic will take you on a new discovery of a yogic dance known as Kaoshiiki. Namaskar, Shireena and Tarika Balmohun.
all. This presentation is on the Kaoshiiki dance, a life-changing yogic dance that is unique to Ananda Marga. The Kaoshiiki dance was introduced on the 6th of September 1978 by our spiritual master and founder of Ananda Marga, Shri Ananda Murtiji. At the outset, I need to mention that this is a dance for everyone, the young, old, male or female, the fit and the not so fit. It is the most complete all-round holistic exercise ever invented for mankind. This mood-enhancing rhythmic yogic dance for mental expansion is danced in rhythm to a powerful and vibrant mantra, which is Baba Nam Kevala, meaning love is all there is. Before we proceed further, we'd like you to view a short video showing the Kaoshiiki dance being done in many parts of the world.
Namaskar. Benefits of the Kaoshiiki dance. This dance uniquely combines the stretching of the spine in all directions while giving an aerobic workout to the heart. The cross-lateral movement of the feet, which consists of tapping the toe behind the heel of the opposite foot, improves brain coordination. At the same time, arms are gracefully bending from side to side, backwards and forwards, opening up major meridians, increasing energy flow and blood circulation. The forward bends are calming, while the backward bends are invigorating and energizing. In essence, the Kaoshiiki dance focuses on developing the layers of the mind, increasing their vitality, allowing the light of the soul to shine through more easily. A significant aspect of the Kaoshiiki dance is that it was invented to fight against petty bodily ailments, which causes inconveniences in both internal and external sadhana. Internal sadhana is your meditation, service to yourself. External sadhana is service to humanity. If you are unwell or have minor aches and pains, sadhana will be difficult. Both internal and external sadhana allows you to shorten the radius between you and the Supreme Being. Kaoshiiki is a psycho-spiritual dance that starts on the physical level and culminates on the spiritual level. A few positive side effects is that it prevents and cures diseases such as diabetes and high blood pressure. It increases spinal flexibility and physical endurance, as well as prolongs the lifespan. It also sharpens and strengthens the mind and removes fear and tiredness. A video demonstration of the Kaoshiiki dance will follow.
Namaskar everyone. This is a short demonstration of a life-changing yogic dance called the Kaoshiiki dance. This dance is sure to elevate you physically, mentally and spiritually. There is a total of 18 counts in this dance. To allow you to follow easily, we shall first do the lower body movement, where we stand evenly on both feet, bend the knees very slightly, tap the toe and the ball of the right foot at the heel of the left foot, and place the right foot flat on the floor. Then you will tap the toe and the ball of the left foot at the heel of the right foot, and place the left foot flat on the floor. We shall continue with this movement throughout the duration of the dance. With regard to the upper body movements, there is movement to the right and left, forwards and backwards. We shall first do the movements to the right and left. Both sides have 5 counts, 3 to go down and 2 to come up. We shall start by placing our palms together. We shall ideate on the divinity inside us and outside of us. Raise your hands above your head. Try and keep your head in between your upper arms while moving to the sides. Let's go to the right. 1, 2, 3, coming up, 4 and 5. Left, 1, 2, 3, coming up, 4 and 5. Hands to your sides. Now for the forward and backward movements. Both movements have only 3 counts, 2 to go down and 1 to come up. There are 2 final movements where you place the right foot flat on the floor and then the left foot flat on the floor. Now we shall put everything together. Palms together. Raise your hands above your head. Let's go to the right. 1, 2, 3, we're coming up, 4 and 5. Left, 1, 2, 3, coming up, 4 and 5. Forwards, 1, 2, you touch the floor, 3, straight up. Back, 1, 2, 3, straight up, 4 and 5. Hands to your sides. We have completed 1 round of the Kaoshiiki dance. We shall do 1 more round using a very powerful and vibrant mantra, which is Baba Nam Kevala, meaning love is all there is. Once again, palms together. Ideate on the divinity within you and outside of you. Raise your hands above your head. Let's go to the right. Baba Nam Baba Kevala. Left, Baba Nam Baba Kevala. Forwards, Baba Nam Baba. Back, Baba Nam Baba Kevala. Hands to your sides. That completes the demonstration on the Kaoshiiki dance. Namaskar everyone.
Like most Indian classical dancing, the Kaoshiiki dance is based on mudras, that is, movements that have deeper spiritual meaning. The arms raised above the head with palms together signifies focusing on a single divine point. The bending to the sides, like the swaying of trees in the wind, is a way of attracting divine grace. Forward bending to touch the earth represents a desire to let go of our egos. Backward bending, the lifting of the heart as we arch the arms backwards, represents the ability to overcome obstacles. The final steps, where we place the right foot flat on the floor and then the left foot, connects us to the continual cosmic rhythm of the universe, and the added physical benefit is that it stimulates the acupressure points, thereby balancing glandular secretions.
Remember, the benefits of Kaoshiiki dance are cumulative. It develops over time with regular practice. One cannot practice the Kaoshiiki dance for a day, a week, or a month, or even a year and expect all aches and pains to disappear. You will have to make the Kaoshiiki dance a part of your daily practice. It is sure to make you more perceptive, more intuitive, and spiritually more aware. The Kaoshiiki dance is very convenient and practical. All you need is yourself and some space, and it can be done in your bedroom, bathroom, hotel room, or on the beach. There is also no time restrictions. You can do 5 or 10 rounds, or go on for 21 minutes if you have the time. The most important benefit is that it assists you in achieving the goal of life, that is, the union with your Creator, with the Supreme Being.
A very warm, sincere, and heartfelt thank you to the organizers for allowing the presentation of this gem called the Kaoshiiki dance, which, as has already been mentioned, is sure to make you more perceptive, more intuitive, and spiritually more aware. Thank you all for listening, and more importantly, for your precious time. I sincerely hope that this short presentation adds health to your life. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you, Shireena. Thank you, Shireena and Tarika, for a beautiful presentation and that graceful demonstration. Our next presenter is Brother Jiivanesh. He has been with Ananda Marga since December 1972. Humanism has been an ideal that all humans should be treated with equal concern to their welfare. P.R. Sarkar says that it is now time to expand this ideal to include a concern for the welfare of all living beings, of all living creatures on this earth. In order to expand our mind to this new ideal, how do we liberate the mind from the limitations and bondages? How did these limitations and bondages get into our mind? The following presentation will answer these questions using the ideas given by P.R. Sarkar in 2 of his books, Neo-Humanism, The Liberation of Intellect, and Light Comes. Namaskar. I hand you over to Brother Jiivanesh.
Namaskar. Thank you, Kumari, for the introduction. What is Neo-Humanism? Why does the mind have limitations and bondages, and what are the causes of these limitations? And how do we go beyond these limitations to expand the mind and enjoy a liberated mind? We will look at the answers to these questions in the presentation to come. Neo-humanism will elevate humanism to universalism, which is the cult of love for all created beings of this universe. Let us listen to the first part of a song of Neo-humanism composed by P.R. Sarkar in the Bengali language. Calling all, I will sing the glories of this crimson dawn in the kingdom of divine light, beyond the threshold of darkness. The sky above is studded with stars. The air is intoxicated with fragrance. With all entities I exist, anointing my mind with the pollen of flowers. Calling all, I will sing the glories of this crimson dawn in the kingdom of divine light. beyond the threshold of darkness.
Why does the intellect need liberating? The highest state of attainment in human life is the inspiration, is the source of all inspiration. It makes things sweet and blissful and transforms this earth into a blissful heaven. Those who move along this path live glorious lives, and they glorify all the other minds in this harmonious universe. In that state, they can distinguish the true from the false. Upon them, people alone can, of all of humanity, rely. Is this state of being something that you would like? Let's explore more. What is keeping you from experiencing this state of being? Simply put, your mind has bondages and limits that keep you from experiencing this expansive, blissful state of being. In order to experience this bliss, you need to be liberated from your limiting bondages. This is why the mind and intellect need liberating. What limits or binds the mind? One is geosentiment, which is a sentiment of love for the indigenous soil of a country. This keeps humanity confined within a limited part of this world. A more expansive than geo-sentiment is socio-sentiment, which people consider in this, using this sentiment, that they will consider only the well-being of their own community or society, which can be all over the world. The members can be all over the world, but it considers only the well-being of their community to the exclusion of other communities. This social sentiment has in the past caused much bloodshed and created enormous mistrust amongst human groups. This throws humanity into a stagnant pool, no longer in a broad flowing river. Society should move like a river, a broad river, flowing towards making progress towards the final goal. But with these sentiments, life can become like a stagnant pool, which we know creates insects and the water is undrinkable. Another sentiment is a human sentiment. People have shed copious tears for suffering humanity and then sat down to eat a delicious meal of fish, as if those fish had not suffered pain and death. There should be a sentiment inspiring the human sentiment, which will vibrate human sentiment in all directions and lead to the final stage of blessedness. Another binding limits is inferiority complex. If you analyze the history of the world, whenever one group exploits another one in the economic sphere or any sphere, they first create exploitation psychically by infusing inferiority complex in the minds of the exploited. You will find in each case, economic exploitation, psychic exploitation was the foundation. You will find a continuous and cunning attempt to create inferiority complex. Just consider, in the history of this world, what countries do you know that did affect and act this way in their colonies? The subtler and sweeter expressions of human life are termed culture. Human culture is one, but there is some local variations in its expression. If a community wishing to exploit others, what they will do is they will try to destroy the local cultural expressions by forcibly imposing their language, dress, and ideas on those other communities. And this paves the way for exploitation by paralyzing the people psychologically. This is how people perpetuate exploitation in the cultural life. Also, there is this idea of pseudo-culture. Pseudo-culture includes creating desires for material objects in movies and posters and mass media, or creating vulgar movies and plays that bring the mind down to lower desires. All of these destroy the noble qualities of life. Hence, it is the bounden duty of every rational person to save innocent people from pseudo-culture. Some questions you can consider asking yourself. Are you aware of the various sentiments? Have you been raised to believe any of these sentiments, geo, social, or human? Do you understand the effect that these sentiments have had on the history of the world and the impact that humans have on the world? What other limits can you find in your own thinking and beliefs that may be keeping you from fully expressing and doing what you desire, what you dream about? So how do we liberate our mind from these limiting ideas? We need to have ideas that expand our mind and make us feel strong and confident. At the same time, we need to feel that we are equal to all other humans. No one is superior or inferior to us. We're all humans. We should strengthen the feeling that we're all part of the same family and should be concerned about their welfare. Also, encourage those around us so they can feel stronger and equal to other humans and living beings. What makes the mind stronger? The most powerful weapon with which to fight geo-sentiment and the most solid ground on which to challenge geo-sentiment is in the rational mind, which is thinking logically with a concern for the welfare of all, integrating mind and heart. Rationality is developed through study, either by reading or listening. It is the duty of those who have understood the sentiments and exploitation psychology to help others also understand. Other sentiments are based on geo-sentiment, such as geopatriotism, geoeconomics, etc. Geo-sentiment attacks the whole human personality and annihilates its noble qualities. The only way to protect oneself from this attack of geo-sentiment is to develop a rational mind through study. It's been said, to be a fool, give up studying. To live a peaceful life, keep silent. To be a sinner, avoid feelings of sympathy. And to completely avoid danger, never close your eyes. Is this the way to live a strong, fulfilling, and glorious life that you won't regret, in which you can realize your dreams? No. Another important thing to make the mind stronger is social equality. Sentiments such as social patriotism, socioeconomics, art, architecture, literature are based on social sentiment. I will conquer the nation and drain its vitality for the sake of my own country, which is social patriotism. I will exploit that country to serve the economic interests of my own dear homeland. This is social economic. What is the way to counteract this social sentiment? The only way to eliminate it is to develop proto-spiritualistic mentality, which is the principle of social equality. I'll look at that some more. When people fully understand social equality, then they will develop this proto-spiritualistic mentality, which is a feeling that all beings are part of my family. This feeling is very necessary to fight against social sentiment. If one avoids social equality and thinks, I will be a virtuous person, I will do all sorts of good, but I will not raise my voice against injustice. If you try to think like this, it's like placing the cart before the horse. It's foolish. The cart should be behind the horse, not in front. So the social equality teaches the basis of righteousness is the collective march of all in unison. And if someone is struggling to keep up with the march, then other ones will pick them up and carry them, or they will all stop until the person is healed. Social equality is the firm foundation of society. And what maintains the social dynamism of this firm foundation? social equality feeling. The psychic structure of social equality is what can provide that dynamism. And what happens is devotion as a practice is transformed into devotion as a principle. When you practice something, it means you're trying. Sometimes you may do, sometimes you may not. But when it becomes a principle, it's a firm belief, and you will always act according to that principle. So devotion as a principle. The devotion is feeling that you are part of, everything is part of you, and that you love everything. Only at this stage, when devotion becomes a principle, can one fight against social sentiment. A so-called humanistic sentiment, which is not motivated by a perennial source of inspiration, becomes a formality only, devoid of real sincerity. It may die out at any moment, like a river ending in the sands of the desert. Perennial here means always. The perennial plants are always green all year round. So a perennial source of inspiration is the source of inspiration that's always there. So humanism to be strong and effective must be motivated by the constant and perennial source of inspiration, which I call Neo-Humanism. Notice this inspiration is like what a lot of personal development people, leaders, talk about as the why. If you're going to be successful in life, you have to know what your why is. Why are you doing it? And that why will continue to motivate and inspire you to do what you need to do in order to become successful in what you are trying to achieve. We should now be able to answer the questions that were raised at the beginning. Why is liberation of intellect required? So that we can live a glorious, fulfilled life, full of sweet bliss and harmony with all creation, living a life in which we have no regrets, in which we can realize our dreams. What is the cause of limitations to the intellect? Feelings of inferiority or superiority caused by geo and social sentiments lead to exploitation and the promotion of pseudo-culture to destroy local culture after infusing inferiority complex. And these often come from when we were growing up as children, with our parents and what we were taught in school. How can the mind become stronger to go beyond these limitations? We have to study to develop a rational mind that thinks logically with a concern for the welfare of all. Most of the time we think about external things, but we need to spend some time every day going inwards to feel our inner needs and wants and our inner motivation through the practice of meditation. We also need to think deeply about social equality and act with social equality in mind. Develop the feeling that all are part of my family. More can be found more ideas about this can be found in the book, The Liberation of Intellect, Neo-Humanism by P.R. Sarkar. Let's listen to the last part of the song of Neo-Humanism.
Calling all, I will sing the glories of this crimson dawn in the kingdom of divine light. This earth on which I walk is purer than the purest gold. In its green shade, all creatures are cherished. It dances, blessed with new life. Calling all, I will sing the glories of this crimson dawn in the kingdom of divine light, beyond the threshold of darkness.
Thank you for participating and trying to expand your mind, to the organizers for inviting me to present, and to the Yashaen family who have helped me with the singing of the song of Neo-Humanism. Please keep any questions until the end of this program, or email questions or comments to Jiivanesh@gmail.com. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you, Brother Jiivanesh, for that in-depth and informative presentation. And to our music team, as Brother Jiivanesh said, that beautiful rendition of song. Our next two presenters are Yashaen Lakan and Kerolin Keshav Gavanda. Yashaen has keen interest in the role of arts and humanities in the advancement of society. He holds a doctorate in architecture while having also studied percussion music. He actively engages with aspects of Sarkar's philosophy of Neo-Humanism and how aesthetics and art can develop the spiritual qualities required of Neo-Humanism to advance society. He explores Prabhat Samgiit as a key to this aspect. Kerolin Keshav Gavanda. Kerolin Keshav Gavanda is passionate creative who has diversified his ability to connect with his artistic interpretation in various ways. He has trained in Carnatic music, visual arts, and is a Vastu consultant. He obtained a honors degree in architecture from Bangalore, India, and currently is pursuing his master's degree in architecture at UKZN. Kerolin is the creative director of Jivan Mukta Music, an artistic platform aimed at sharing with like-minded people a taste of traditional and contemporary Indian spirit, music, art, dance, drama, and poetry with a message that goes beyond music. Kerolin strongly believes in the motto, rediscover the true self and live with the yearning to discover. Kerolin and Yashaen. Namaskar.
Namaskar, everybody.
Namaskar, everybody, and thank you, Kumariji, for giving me this opportunity, and to everyone for allowing me to share my experience. It's really a humbling experience to be a part of this, and thank you, Yashaen.
Okay, namaskar. So ideally, I can hear, sorry, Kerolin, I can hear myself through your computer. Right, so ideally, we were going to be in the same space to kind of prevent this echo effect. So I think when one of us is talking, the other needs to mute. So Kerolin, if you could please, I can mute you from here, that's fine. Okay, so our topic today is on Prabhat Sangeet and also Kiirtan. We're focusing more on Prabhat Sangeet for a very specific reason. And that is, you know, when we look at Prabhat Sangeet, it is one of the most precious contributions to humanity, which is a new dawn that has come to the musical world. So Kerolin and I both, I mean, we met not so long ago, and our discussions, you know, from architecture, we realized that we have common interests in music as well. And that's how Kerolin also got exposed to Prabhat Sangeet, and he'll talk more about that shortly. But the creator of this very special kind of genre of music is our Guruji P.R. Sarkar, who was already known as a great philosopher before he actually introduced, Prabhat Sangeet. But through Prabhat Sangeet, he has become also known as a master of music. So if you look at how Prabhat Sangeet works, what's its effect, it's kind of waking up sleeping people and waking up that sleeping dormant energy towards, elevating one towards spirituality. And if you look at music generally with Sangeet, it's perceived through the kind of through hearing and through feeling and emotion. Now, what Prabhat Sangeet does is it takes the aesthetic science of music into a supra-aesthetic realm of mysticism. So it moves beyond the rational aspects or rationalization of music and thinking about music towards feeling a very elevating spiritual energy in music. Now, P.R. Sarkar composed these songs in different rag and tal with various meanings. And the meanings, what attracts me are, you can group them into various things, but there's one which is about love for all creation, and the other is about advancement of society. Now, these two aspects cannot be disconnected. They are connected. So when one looks into Prabhat Sangeet a bit deeply, and if you listen to what Brother Jiivanesh spoke about, it has that power of overcoming the barriers of social sentiment towards one human society through these barriers of love, spirituality, and building devotion. So what it does is, you find that many Prabhat Sangeet, when you look at the sources, the origin of how Shri P.R. Sarkar composed them, the Prabhat Sangeet kind of draw from different parts of the world, East and West. For example, the first song, Bondu E Niye Cholo, it has tunes and melody from West Bengal, but also Italian melody in there. And there are various. If you look at Chokol Moner, that's from the Scandinavian countries, Belgium, more specifically. So Prabhat Sangeet itself, feeds very nicely into Neo-Humanism. So after that brief introduction, this session is going to be more conversational. So Kerolin and I will have a conversation on Prabhat Sangeet. And from that conversation, I think that the actual meaning in music and amongst arts and musicians can be better understood. So I have, we have many discussions together, Kerolin and I, but I want to ask him how Prabhat Sangeet has influenced his life journey, beyond just the music itself. So Kerolin, if you want to talk about that aspect of Prabhat Sangeet.
Thank you, Yashaen. Firstly, I just want to make mention that I was introduced into the Ananda Marga in the year 2019, right? Which is pretty recent, but I must say that the experiences that I've had from that point onwards feels as if I've known this this way of life for all eternity, and I must say that the thing that kind of attracted me to the organization and also Baba's teachings was Prabhat Sangeet. Prabhat Sangeet was the thing that actually pulled on my heartstrings. It was something that gave me the sense of wanting to experience more of this beautiful experience throughout my journey. And I think this is for everyone. Everyone asks themselves at some point in their life, who am I? Where have I come from? Where am I going to? And these are the questions that we ask on a regular basis. And through music, which I found from growing up young age. Okay, can you all hear me better now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah, so I say that we all ask ourselves these questions of who am I, where have I come from, where am I going to? And these are the questions that we should ask ourselves. And having been introduced to the Ananda Marga and the basic philosophy of Shri Ananda Murti ji from Yashaen, and then I had come to my first Akhanda Kiirtan in Phoenix, and this experience for me was overwhelming. It was something that really pulled on my heartstrings. I felt an immense sense of I can't even describe it, because it was something that really felt right. It felt like you belonged to this 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 life of love, and that was what came out through the the kirtan and through the Prabhat Sangeet. The first few Prabhat Sangeets, or the two Prabhat Sangeets that I had learned, was Vajrakatora and also Jaya Shiva Swayambho Pashupate. But besides the how beautiful the song sounded, it was the meaning. The meaning in itself. Every Prabhat Sangeet that I have heard and I've read the meaning, it has a whole world in itself. It's like all the answers to the questions that we have are within the Prabhat Sangeet. And this is the pure expression of who we are. We are beings that have this divine potential, and Baba has given us this gift of music, or Prabhat Sangeet, to remind ourselves that we are truly divine beings. And the questions of who we are, where we come from, and where we're going to are so the answers might not come directly to us, but through Prabhat Sangeet, we affirm ourselves that we are definitely at the right place at the right time, experiencing the most precious parts of ourselves. So how it's influenced my life from the point of hearing Prabhat Sangeet, it has filled my heart with immense joy. I've had the opportunity to share Prabhat Sangeet in a few of my recitals over the past year and a half. And besides only inspiring me, it's also inspired the musicians that I've played with, and they've said these melodies are beautiful, and that's what it is. The Prabhat Sangeet share some sort of love, divine love for the divine, for that we have for the divine, but also mysticism. A part of it seems like you are on this path of some discovery of your own true self, and it does that. It brings out the intense emotions of love, um, of joy, peace, happiness, and this is how it's influenced my journey thus far. um, I just pray that Baba grants me, or gives me the grace to explore the many other Prabhat Sangeet that he has graced us with, he's given us. um, and I think it is important for us to move along, understanding each song a part of our journey. And I started singing Vajra Katora the meaning of Vajrakatora. I'll just read the first few lines. And this is my first Prabhat Sangeet that I sang, and this was on Baba's birthday. I sang it at Phoenix. And the first line is, "You are as severe as a thunderbolt, yet as tender as a flower bud." And honestly, when the master enters your life, he comes like thunderbolt. And the experience that you have when you start accepting the love and recognizing the love, because when we experience emotions, and this has happened where sometimes you listen to music, and this I've had this instance, and I'm sure many of you also share this experience. I would be drawing and listening to music, doing my little sketches, or trying to study something, and then you just break down into tears, not for any particular reason. You just start bawling your eyes out, and you feel the sense of energy just gushing through you. And to me, it seems like I felt this. It's a familiar feeling. It's something that I can connect to. What music does, and Prabhat Sangeet in particular, is it reminds you of your true self. It reminds you of who you really are, where you're really supposed to go, and what your purpose is in some form or the other. And those three questions of who you are, where you've come from, and where you're going to, all is experienced through Prabhat Sangeet. Later on, he says, and it describes Shiva, and it says that um, you are the controller of both the expressed and unexpressed worlds, and the shelter of all distressed. You are the beginningless and beyond the scope of time, yet you remain established in all finite objects. And this is a teaching for me personally, because when we look at life, sometimes we look at it from only one direction, and we say, you know what, this life is so and so. We as human beings want to know what is the conclusion and the beginning of life. We know that there is birth, and then there is death, and we know in any particular situation there is a problem, and then there's a solution. And we look at these extremes, and we say that we have to understand life within our own mental understanding. But with divinity and with God, there is no. It's beyond even the beginning. It's beginningless, and it's beyond the scope of time. It is an experience that takes us um, through all facets of life, and sometimes it's even hard to explain it, but to experience it, and everyone has experienced it. Prabhat Sangeet music has this amazing power that can transform our hearts and minds. And the Prabhat Sangeet that Shri Ananda Murti has given us is a world or worlds altogether to discover the potential of who we really are. And that's I think an important part of the journey.
Thank you, Kerolin. Do
Yashaen,
you mind if...
yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
yeah, you can ask me.
Yes. Sorry, I had to mute you. Do you mind demonstrating? You know, I know you sing two songs. And you mentioned the other one, Jai Shiva Swayambho. Jai Shiva Swayambho is interesting because of, as well as Vajrakatora, but Jai Shiva Swayambho, if you can talk about how this song in particular can create different moods. There's the mood created by its meaning, victory to Lord Shiva, the self-created Lord of animals, and all of that. But Jaya Shiva Swayambho can be sung in different kind of laya, timing, and with different expression and mood. And if you can maybe demonstrate a bit of, if you don't mind singing a little bit of Jaya Shiva Swayambho, Pashupate, to express this kind of mood and meaning of the song. While it says, victory, the primordial God, the witnessing entity of all, there's also the other aspect of that soft nectar-like flow of bliss, and I think the song captures those two elements quite nicely. So I would like you to talk a little bit about it and do a little demonstration as well. And then you can also ask questions to me if you wish. Thank you.
Okay, so Jaya Shiva Swayambho Pashupate. The beautiful part of Prabhat Sangeet is that it is not only to be, I mean, it's so versatile. You can use Prabhat Sangeet even in dance. So this is a beautiful dance item. I know that it is popular as a dance item, but also in classical recitals as well. The way Baba has structured the songs, and this is all through. I mean, this is the power of the divine, that a song can can be sung in different styles, in different ways, and can be performed or can be expressed in different places. So in particular, okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna sing the song um, as we all do. Mm. जय शिव स्वयंभो पशुपते जय शिव स्वयंभो पशुपते आदिश्वर अनाथनाथ दूषति आदिश्वर अनाथनाथ दूषति सर्वदि साक्षी मिधदिते सर्वदि साक्षी मिधदिते जय शिव स्वयंभो पशुपते जय शिव स्वयंभो पशुपते. Okay, so um, for the way the song is structured, it is so appropriate for dance, right? The tempo in which it has played, and I know Yashaen ji, what you can do is maybe you can even play some some of the take us so that we can maybe I don't know if it's gonna work if you can play while I'm singing the tabla.
Oh, what we can do, Kerolin ji,
Yeah.
if you sing, I can't play with you because we're in different places.
Okay.
What I can do is I'll take the same tempo that you are singing and
Yes.
then play.
Okay.
I'll sing it softly and then I'll play the beat playing on the
Okay.
side. And then play
Okay,
with
that's
different
fine.
tempo. For
Okay.
example, dance.
Yes,
We had to
yes.
sing in a satsang.
Okay, I'm gonna go through the other verses as well, right? Mhm. आलोक ताग तोसी त्रिलोक बाससि सर्वे बोर्मा दिव्यधरं धसि आदिदेव सनातन शाश्वत पुरातन आदिदेव सनातन शाश्वत पुरातन नमस्ते प्रभु शुभगते नमस्ते प्रभु शुभगते जय शिव स्वयंभो पशुपते जय शिव स्वयंभो पशुपते. So when we are singing Prabhat Sangeet, and this is what I try and do, I try and have this conversation with Baba. I'm trying to have this conversation with Baba to express what I'm feeling at that moment. It's the feeling of love, the feeling of appreciation. And then when you go back to Shiva Swayambhu, imagine him dancing in that the form of the Shiva Tandava, and he's dancing in ecstasy, just here creating everything and giving us the life and the energy that we need. सर्वगुणान्वित गुणतीत ईश्वर सर्व त्यागी त्वं गणाधीश्वर सर्वगुणान्वित आ आ सर्वगुणान्वित गुणातीत ईश्वर सर्वत्यागी त्वं गणाधीश्वर काले अकाले असि सुमधुर हाससि काले अकाले असि सुमधुर हाससि सर्वलोकांभर लोकपते सर्वलोकांभर लोकपते जय शिव स्वयंभो पशुपते जय शिव स्वयंभो पशुपते आदेश्वर अनाथनाथ दूचति आदेश्वर अनाथनाथ दूचति सर्वदि साक्षी मिददिते सर्वदि साक्षी मिददिते जय शिव स्वयंभो पशुपते जय शिव स्वयंभो पशुपते. The song honestly can it brings me so much of joy, but also it can bring me to tears because of the meaning as well. So when you understand the meaning of the song, you internalize the Prabhat Sangeet. You resonate with the Prabhat Sangeet. And this is important, that when we do sing these compositions, that we allow it to connect to ourselves and the personal experiences that we have experienced. And if we take each and every Prabhat Sangeet, there is so much that we can absorb from the meaning and resonate with how Prabhat Sangeet can influence the way we live life, the way we experience life, and the way we understand Parama Purusha. Yashaen, I have a question for you, and I wanted to ask you, how can rhythm in Prabhat Sangeet be expressed to enhance its beauty while invoking divinity at the same time?
Thank you for that question, Kerolin. So we can use the same song to demonstrate. There's somebody, if everybody could please mute your mic, there's a lot of noise coming from the back. Or if one of the other hosts can make sure everybody's mics are muted so we don't get disturbance through the back. It's off-putting, especially when you're trying to build a spiritual mode. So a Prabhat Sangeet is actually very carefully considered and composed, you know, if you analyze it from a rhythm perspective, because Prabhat Sangeet, although it's its own genre, it's got a lot of elements of ghazal music, which means the rhythm patterns and the melody often overlap. So when you sang that Jaya Shiva Swayambhu Pashupati, Jaya Shiva Swayambhu Pashupati, this melodic kind of layer will work with when we're trying to build kind of devotion and feeling. So the tal, although it's Kera tal, 8 beats, for this particular way of singing it will be, okay, wait. Jaya Shiva Swayambhu Pashupati, Jaya Shiva Swayambhu Pashupati. It's a very easy kind of flowing rhythm pattern. And what happens is, if one were to take that same rhythm pattern and at a different time of day, maybe if this song is sung during Panchajanya time, where you want to go deeper, the rhythm pattern can even change, although the tal is the same. So it could be in Jaya Shiva Swayambhu Pashupati, Jaya Shiva Swayambhu Pashupati. So it, the bass, although you won't be able to hear the bass too much on Zoom, it cuts out the bass on tabla, for example. But the pattern can be such that it's more slow, open, and more intricate. So very fine notation. So all of these Prabhat Sangeet allows rhythm patterns with very, very intricate rhythm notations in tal. So although this is Kerala tal, the pattern can be very subtle. It can be flowing like this, as I'm playing now, or it can be much more meditative. Jai Shiva Swayambhu Pashupati, Jai Shiva Swayambhu Pashupati. But you also spoke about dance. Now, what's nice about this kind of Prabhat Sangeet or Prabhat Sangeet, if you had to play the same song to Mudra dance, then it would be much more bold and robust. It would go, Jaya Shiva Swayambhu Pashupati, Jaya Shiva Swayambhu Pashupati. So, what is very interesting about Prabhat Sangeet is that you can find what I found with rhythm in Prabhat Sangeet is that different times of day, the rag it's set to will have most intensity at a certain time of day. But all Prabhat Sangeet, you find that there's blending of rag, and that's a very interesting thing as well. You might have noticed that as well, Kerolin. It's kind of you move from one rag and find yourself in another and coming back. And what it does, it allows different expression as well at different times of day and for different moods. So it's very interesting to play Prabhat Sangeet as a tabla player because it allows a lot of improvisation. It's a pity we're all under lockdown and we couldn't meet in a physical place where you can hear the sound properly and and how the melody and the rhythm patterns kind of complement each other. But I've learned through experimenting with Prabhat Sangeet how beat and rhythm can also express emotion and bring out spiritual vibration. And that's where with Kiirtan, Kiirtan and rhythm, I find there's a lot of expression of emotion comes out there through the rhythm as well. Now that's a very big difference between, say, Western music and Eastern. Almost, even in the East, often rhythm is played just for timing. It's like almost clapping. So it's different music instruments that you're listening to and playing technically to keep timing. What Prabhat Sangeet does, it allows these instruments themselves to start expressing a divine vibration, which we feel more when we're listening to the original sound, not like we're doing now through Zoom. But that's an interesting quality I found about Prabhat Sangeet and why it intrigues me as a tabla player. Okay, over to you, Kerolin. I wanted to ask you, I know time is limited now, but I wanted to ask you as well another question is that um, how do you feel? You spoke about how you feel when you sing Prabhat Sangeet, but just a little bit, maybe a minute or two on what the audiences that you're seeing to out in performances and concerts. How have they taken to Prabhat Sangeet and other musicians? You just touched on it. I just wanted to know a little bit more about, because it's very important to understand that Prabhat Sangeet has a lot of value in Prachar. In fact, the whole Rawa ambit has a lot of value for Prachar. So I wanted you to just spend a short while explaining, the impact that you found that Prabhat Sangeet has to a broader audience.
Okay, Yashaen, I must say the first thing is the beauty of the sound, right? Also, quite a few of the Prabhat Sangeet has a unique mix of ragas. So sometimes it's not particularly one particular raga, but it is an influence of other ragas as well, and also has a very strong Western influence. So I think this is one of the unique ways of people actually wanting to appreciate this genre of music, because it's its own genre of music. It can't be just seen as being classical Hindustani music, or just purely Western music. It has this unique um, uh, I think a variety of both Indian and Western, Eastern and Western musical styles. So it is definitely the way this Prabhat Sangeet's sound, and then also the impact of the meaning. Now the meaning, I always go back to the meaning, because the meaning is um, it is so deep that it actually allows you to start thinking about things that we haven't even yet like kind of put our minds in. So it starts, I think, interrogating, or not interrogating, it starts allowing us to now tap into the deeper self. So Prabhat Sangeet is definitely the most precious and beautiful um, uh, you know songs that we can actually allow to bring people closer to each other, people closer to each other, to start appreciating music. Now sound is a natural element, and everyone connects to the natural elements of sound. So the laya, which is the melody, and then the tala, which is the rhythms, and these are all natural elements, a part of the journey, and people connect with it. And here, Prabhat Sangeet is totally harmonious in that aspect. So. When I have performed Prabhat Sangeet in front of an audience, the favorite items were Jaya Shiva Swayambho Pashupate, because of its vibrance, its touch of the emotion of love, and it's got this intrigue. People want to listen to more and more of it, because it's colorful. It changes from the beginning of the song to the middle of the song and towards the end. It has this beautiful flow of energy. It is very it is very impactful. The meaning is so impactful, but the song in itself is so subtle. It is so subtle and so gentle on the ear and for the listener to absorb. It's not heavy. It's something that people can. So definitely food for the soul. Definitely food for the soul. So Yashaen, thank you for um, asking me that particular question, because it is an important part of or an important part of what I believe in.
Thank you, Kerolin. I think we've run out of our time now. So, Kumari ji, I hope we covered what we intended to. So we can, is there anything else you want to say, Kerolin, before we move on?
No, Yashaen, I just want to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity, and I want to wish everyone abundance of blessings on their journey and spiritual journey. And may Baba continue to fill your hearts and lives with abundance of love, peace, happiness, and keep you safe and sound.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, so with those words, we thank everybody for listening carefully. I hope we managed to, through this little conversation, I managed to bring more light to how deep Prabhat Sangeet is. You know, if we have more time and more demonstration in a more interactive contact way, there's so much more that can be expressed about Prabhat Sangeet. But I hope that everybody has taken something extra from the meaning of Prabhat Sangeet by listening to an artist's kind of perspective of the depth of Prabhat Sangeet. So thank you everybody for giving us this opportunity to talk about Prabhat Sangeet today. And I'll hand over back to Kumariji now. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you, Yashaen and Kerolin, for taking us on a beautiful, melodious journey. We will now have a beautiful guided meditation by Geeta Govender. Geeta's life revolves around her family, her spiritual practice, spiritual counseling where needed, and she has an avid interest in writing.
Namaskar. This is a short guided meditation, an introduction to the experience of meditation, if you like. So, if we are ready, please seat yourselves comfortably in your chairs. You may kick off your shoes if you like. Close your eyes as you follow the sound of my voice. Allow your focus to go within as you concentrate on your breathing, which is deep and regular. Take a deep breath in, hold, and then slowly exhale. Take another deep breath in, hold, and slowly exhale until this becomes automatic. Feel yourself relax with each breath that you take. Now, imagine that you are sitting on the shores of a vast, beautiful blue lake, surrounded by snow-capped mountains, trees and flowers. It is a beautiful scene, a clear, sunny day. You are all alone in this beautiful tranquility. There is not a sound to disturb the silence. As you breathe deeply, feel that all your cares melt away, that you are at peace with yourself and the world. Feel that you are surrounded by white light, peace and love, which floods your being. From the crown of your head through to the tips of your toes. This is the cosmic love, the cosmic energy which surrounds us all the time. Feel yourself connect with this consciousness, this bliss that is outside you and within you. As you feel yourself cradled in this love, you can now start to silently say your mantra, which is Baba Nam Kevalam. Baba Nam Kevalam is a universal mantra which means God is all there is, or love is all there is. They are one and the same. Keep repeating this mantra while keeping the ideation. Baba Nam Kevalam. Love is all there is. Or Baba Nam Kevalam. God is all there is. Carry on repeating this with the ideation until you hear my voice leading you to the end of meditation. Keeping your eyes closed until I ask you to reopen them, you may stop taking your mantra. Still with closed
My mom doesn't. Like, you laugh at it.
Namaskar. Thank you, Geeta, for that beautiful, soothing, guided meditation. We've come to the end of our program. I would like to thank Shireena, Tarika, and Rivana Balmohun, Brother Jiivanesh, Yashaen Lakan, and Kerolin Keshav Governor for putting together such a beautiful presentation. Thank you, our audience, for gracing us with your humble presence this morning. If you have not asked yourself this question already, it's never too late to ask yourself, who am I? Where do I come from? And what is my purpose? During this pandemic, don't go out. Go within. Go within this beautiful thing that we call the mind. Our next presentation in the Footprint series is on the 11th of July at the same time and the same link. We look forward to seeing you online. Namaskar, take care and be safe.
Namaskar.